Hi, welcome to Ernie in Seattle's daily broadcast. This is Saturday, September the 26th of 2020. I think there's like less than 40 days before the big election. It's going to be a wild ride. I know Mr. Trumpster is going to announce his Supreme Court nominee today, and she's an ultra conservative, very religious Bible thumper. It's not good news. There's nothing the Democrats can do to stop it. And so our goal is obviously to win the presidency with the Biden-Harris ticket and take over Senate. That way we control two branches out of the three, and we can legislate away any bad decision the new conservative court will um, will will go ahead and rule on. That's all we can do. I mean, it is what it is, right? They said. Let's go ahead and get started with today's broadcast, and obviously go ahead and start with our PowerPoint slides. Yes, welcome to the weekend, Saturday, September 26th. We've had a bout of rain here and first smoke last week, and then now rain. And but you need to make sure that we only have one day left. So today is going to be a little showers, not too bad. It's tapering off, but look at the forecast. So starting tomorrow, it's going to be sunny the whole week in the 70s. And in fact, it's going to peak with a high of 79 on Wednesday. So sunny days are coming this week. So just tolerate today with a little showers and you'll be fine. I talked about this in the daily broadcast, I think yesterday when I talked about the polls, but there's definitely a huge growing support in the country to abolish electoral college. We know that, for example, in 2016, Hillary Clinton won the popular vote by 3 million, but lost electoral college vote to Trump, which is kind of a farce. Like, when was the last time? It's kind of like one vote, one person, right? So losing by 3 million, but still losing the election kind of sucks. And also, we lost, Al Gore won the popular vote in 2000, but George W. Bush won. So here we have probably, well, two of the worst presidents in our history, Trump and George W. Bush, that were elected by the Electoral College and not by the majority of the people. So 61% of Americans currently support abolishing Electoral College. And here is a way that we can actually do it without a constitutional amendment, because the constitutional amendment is a long drawn process. You need Congress to pass it by 2/3 in both the House and the Senate, and you need 2/3 of the state legislatures to pass it, which is a big chore. But here's another way to go about it. So there's this thing called the National Popular Vote Interstate Compact. So state legislatures have actually passed this law, and see the green states there? Those green states have actually passed a law that said, okay, no matter what the vote is in our state, our electoral college vote will go to the winner of the popular vote in the U.S. presidential election. So it doesn't matter what happens. Our vote, our electoral vote, will go towards the winner of the popular vote in the U.S. That's awesome. So right now we have states that total 196 electoral votes. So as you know, we need a candidate needs 270 electoral college votes to win the presidency. So we need 74 more. Again, you can see on this particular map, it's various different stages. So for example, the orange states indicates passage by one of the legislature, so either the House or the Senate in that state legislature. Yellow indicates passes by both legislative chambers. So if we can get 74 more votes, then we can basically do away with it. It will basically do away with electoral college. So again, we have it's passed at least one legislative chamber in 9 states, possessing 88 electoral college votes. I know it's hard to say. So those are the best opportunities we have. And so this is one way that we can get rid of the electoral college and its influence on the presidential election. We go with whoever wins the most popular vote. Hopefully, will have the 74 more electoral college votes we'll need before 2024. Let's pray. So the family of Breonna Taylor held a very emotional press conference yesterday in Louisville, and I wanted to stream just about 8 minutes of a woman that was very impressive. Unfortunately, can't remember her name, but she was actually she has an organization that actually moved to Louisville to advocate for racial injustice, to overturn racial injustice, I should say. So here's just a few minutes of her impassionate plea towards justice, and she really laid into the Kentucky Attorney General, who's an African American, but he's a Republican. He spoke at the GOP convention. He's a big Trump fan, Daniel Cameron. So you'll hear her plea about justice, and directing a lot of her plea towards Daniel Cameron, the Kentucky Attorney General.
Figaro and Reverend Al Sharpton, Lionel Gomez's TV show, but this young lady almost every day went on social media and followed Jania's lead, because remember, Tamika, Jania every day went on social media and said, my sister Breonna Taylor life mattered, when nobody else was listening. But then this young lady got involved and had her own sound on her social media every day, and we strategized every day. And then she said, you know what, Crump? Me and my organization, Until Freedom, we're moving to Louisville, Kentucky, and we're going to stay every day, because if Tamika Palmer can't sleep in peace, neither can we. And we're going to come and be in solidarity together, demanding justice for Breonna Taylor. And for, I think now, over 4 months, you all have been here, living here this whole time. And that's why I call her the queen of the movement for justice for Breonna Taylor. My sister, my warrior, my freedom fighter, Tamika Mallory.
No justice. No peace. No justice. No peace. No justice. No peace. No justice. No peace. And if there ain't gonna be no justice, there ain't gonna be no peace. You know, I want to read something to you all that I learned of just the day after Daniel Cameron's decision. It says, it is a great honor to receive the endorsement of the bipartisan Kentucky Fraternal Order of Police. To the men and women in blue, I pledge to be your advocate and your voice every day. When I first got into this race, I did so to bring focus to the public safety challenge of our lifetime, the drug crisis. And there is so much work to be done to fight this epidemic. I am humbled to have this endorsement, and as a chief law enforcement officer in Kentucky, I will work every day to make our communities safer and our families and citizens more secure. Half of that statement is from Daniel Cameron when he received the endorsement of the FOP, one of the most racist organizations that exist in America.
You better talk.
I got time today.
Okay. And receipts.
And half of that statement was a lie. Daniel Cameron is not here to protect citizens and to make the state of Kentucky safer. But he was honest about one part, and that is that he is an advocate for police, and that he was going to be their voice and to do whatever is necessary to protect them. And so we learned that he's a man of his word as it relates to his relationship to police. He protected the police. And it did not matter to him one bit that those same officers could have ran in his black mama's house and shot her to death. He's more committed to the white supremacy that he is upholding. He mentioned at the press conference, which I thought was quite interesting, that he's a black man. And as I laid and cried and hurt for Tamika Palmer and for Breonna Taylor and for Kenny Walker and for Janiyah, who we need to love up on, as I laid there and I thought about him saying he's a black man, I thought about the ships that went into Fort Monroe and Jamestown with our people on them over 400 years ago. And how there were also black men on those ships that were responsible for bringing our people over here. Daniel Cameron is no different than the sellout Negroes that sold our people into slavery.
She said it.
And helped white men to capture our people, to abuse them and to traffic them while our women were raped, while our men were raped by savages. That is who you are, Daniel Cameron. You are a coward, you are a sellout, and you were used by the system to harm your own mama, your own black mama. We have no respect for you. No respect for your black skin. Because all of our skin folk ain't our kin folk. And you do not belong to black people at all. We learned that on the same exact day that this announcement came out, it was the day that in September of, I forget the year, 1955, which was 65 years ago, Emmett Till was also killed again, denied justice, because the two white officers responsible for, the two white men, responsible for killing him were let free. That happened on the same day. Now, I don't know if it's just that Daniel Cameron is stupid or that he is very, very, very clear about history and made a decision to wait 6 months and come forward with this announcement, this garbage that we received on the exact same day that Emmett Till's family received the same result.
And the Historical Society.
And the historic.
You better talk, girl. You better talk. You better talk.
But I want you to understand how wicked he is. How wicked he is. And how wicked this system is. Attorney Sam Aguiar, and I hope I don't get in trouble for this, but I gotta say it. Y'all know I push the envelope too far all the time.
That's all right.
Attorney Sam Aguiar said he spoke to the Attorney General's office and told them, do not have Tamika Palmer come all the way to Frankfurt, which is an hour drive away, to hear bad news and have to drive back. Do not do that to her. You can call on the telephone to tell her bad news. And that wicked man called for her to come there anyway and had this black mama to have to drive home with her sister and her family after hearing that they didn't even mention her daughter's name in the damn indictment process in this grand jury hearing. How dare you? What kind of man are you? How dare you? And we are not going home. We will make sure that this city is as uncomfortable as it can be, and we intend to travel across the state of Kentucky and make sure that in every corner of this state they know who you are, Daniel Cameron, and who is upholding the system of white supremacy that continues to oppress our people. The last thing we will say is, Mayor Fisher, don't get it twisted. Don't get it twisted. Do not think for one moment that you're going to hide behind a settlement or hide behind reform that we are happy to see that you actually support it, but it must be implemented, and we have to make sure that that work is done.
That's real.
But the main thing that matters at this point You can have the National Guard, the Army, the white militia, the whoever you want to have here, LMPD, whoever you want to have. Anybody, turn them loose. Tell them, turn them loose. But until you fire those cops, until your investigation returns the results that the police officers who murdered, they said they were mad at me for using the language murder. I said what I said. They murdered Breonna Taylor. And until those officers are fired from this department, I promise you, we will continue to make these streets hot.
Wow, that was a very passionate speech by Tamika Mallory. I think she was an organization that basically is dealing with Black Lives Matter and the issues of racial injustice. And she really was passionate and spoke from the heart. You can tell when someone speaks from the heart. She was very emotional. And Daniel Cameron is the African-American AG. Like I said before, he's a conservative Republican, a conservative Black Republican. Is that an oxymoron or what? And he spoke at the Republican convention. Okay. As they say in the past, he's an Uncle Tom. And I'm surprised she didn't use that term. Anyway, let's go move on to our next topic. We love the Lincoln Project. Again, the Lincoln Project is an organization that is all Republicans or ex-Republicans. And obviously Lincoln was a Republican. And they have been running ads against Trump for the last, since the beginning of 2020. Here's a great ad they just released, which is great. It's called The Choice. It's called The Choice. So let's go ahead and show you this. Just got released within the last 12 hours. So this is just hot off the, I'd say the presses, hot off the video creation machine that they have. So let's go ahead and look at the Lincoln Project latest ad. It's going to be run in all the swing states, including Wisconsin, Michigan, Pennsylvania, Ohio, North Carolina, Florida, and Arizona. So here is the Lincoln Project's recent ad called The Choice.
The choice has never been more clear. Trump and his dangerous allies have pushed America to the breaking point, and now, in a desperate power grab, they're willing to tear this country apart. The loyalties of the Republican Party are unmistakable. They're no longer hiding it, and we know their names. They won't stand for principle or precedent. Their only loyalty is to power, position, and to their leader. To remake America in Trump's image, no matter the cost. Our rights, our freedoms, the future of our nation, these are all just obstacles in their pursuit of unchecked power. All in the service of the most dangerous president in U.S. history. A man responsible for the deaths of hundreds of thousands of Americans, who encourages violence and trades in division and hate. Even his supporters know this about him. They just don't care. They can't be shamed, but they must be stopped.
The Lincoln Project is responsible for the content of this advertising.
Okay, the Lincoln Project delivers again. That was a great ad. They're going to produce a lot of ads between now and Election Day. And obviously, we love the fact that Michael Bloomberg is spending $100 million in Florida in specific ads against Trump, supporting Biden. And he's also actually teaming with a lot of different supporters like LeBron James to actually pay for the court costs and the fees, etc. 2 years ago, the Florida voters actually voted the fact that felons who have served their time and paid their debt to society need to be able to have the right to vote again. And that was actually passed by a popular vote. It was an initiative in Florida and it passed, but the Republican legislature and the Republican governor put in like some obstacles. So they said, okay, you can't get your right to vote unless you pay all your court fees and restitution, blah, blah, blah. And so Mike Bloomberg started a fund, and like I said, like people like LeBron James actually donate to it. So they're going to go ahead and pay for all these fees and all the restitution fees that the state legislature put as a hurdle for these ex-felons to vote. And so they're going to be able to vote. That's amazing. I love stories like that. So I always want to finish my daily broadcast with a good story. And this is a great tribute to Ruth Bader Ginsburg. She loved to reach out to the other side. In fact, as everyone knows, she had a really great relationship with her ultra opposite political views, Supreme Court Justice Scalia, who was very conservative. And she actually, her and Justice Scalia had a great relationship. They loved to go to the opera together. They loved to hang out together. And they were just best buds, even though they were in the opposite spectrums, ultra conservative, ultra liberal. So here's a really heartwarming story. You're going to cry. I did. Ruth Bader Ginsburg, unlikely friendship with the conservative activist. You'll love the story. It's a great story. It's a great story to end our daily broadcast. So here is the story about Ruth Bader Ginsburg, unlikely friendship with a conservative activist.
It was a love of music that brought them together.
This is the two of us coming from an opera dinner at the
An unlikely friendship between seemingly polar opposites, Eric Motley and Supreme Court Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg.
I was a black young man, just turned 30. I was working for President Bush. And Ruth Bader Ginsburg, this Jewish intellectual urbanite, this woman who had been appointed to the Supreme Court.
Thrown together by surprise at a dinner party and seated next to Ruth Bader Ginsburg's husband, Martin, who quickly learned of their shared passion.
I love music. And he got so excited. And he said, my wife and I love music. I said, I'm listening to Bach's Goldberg Variations. He said, oh my God, you have to meet my wife. You have to talk, Ruth. And he called her name across the table. I never will forget.
Eric and the Justice became fast friends, sharing their love of opera, history, and music.
Little did I know that would inspire a 17-year relationship around music and ideas.
Ideas that sometimes clashed, but led to a better understanding between them over issues around race, opportunity, and public policy.
The notorious Ruth Bader Ginsburg.
As the years passed, the two also shared a personal joke. When would Eric, the eligible bachelor, tie the knot?
In her demanding voice, it's about time.
When Eric found his love Hannah, Ginsburg offered to officiate their wedding.
She said, what do you mean go to the courthouse? I have the legal right to marry you. And so let's find a date and come here to my patio.
As the preparations were made and the excitement was building, Ginsburg kept Eric in touch of her ongoing cancer treatments, writing him letters.
3 weeks daily radiation killed the cancer with appreciation and love, RBG.
But Eric got a surprising call 2 days before the scheduled ceremony. Ginsburg would need to postpone.
I was a bit numbed because she never cancels.
On the scheduled day of their wedding, Eric got a call from a friend.
And she said, we've lost Ruth. And I pulled over on the side of the road and composed myself.
It was Friday, September 18th, the evening Ginsburg was to marry Eric and Hannah, when she died.
And all the emotions of losing a friend and feeling that at that very hour we would have probably been in the house.
Struggling with grief, Eric and Hannah joined hundreds of others at the Supreme Court.
At the bronze door, we left a single white rose.
Eric now left struggling to figure out what Ginsburg would want him to do next.
I'm really struggling with where we are right now as a society. The issues of equity in this country, the challenges around race.
Eric is determined to take Ginsburg's advice, to never give up, always move forward. And that, too, means marrying the love of his life.
The wedding license with officiant Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg's name on it, waiting for her signature, now stand as markers of a moment. But they also stand as a reminder of a beautiful friendship and a remarkable woman who would only want us to get married, to find the date as soon as we can, and to just get on with it.
With family, friends, and of course, music. Suzanne Malveaux, CNN, Washington.
Okay. I'm sorry. Every time I see that, I cry. Sorry. I'm obviously very emotional, and it, tells about how, we can actually have a dialogue between different parts of our country, between conservatives and liberals, which is not happening, obviously, given the current administration. But that's the times we miss, right? Where we can have people like you saw, he was conservative and he had a great relationship with a notorious RBG. So hope you enjoyed that. I know that was kind of maybe a good way to kind of end today's daily podcast. Sorry, I'm crying. I'm emotional, but obviously these times are tough. And hopefully that will inspire you to do the right thing. One of the things that I'm thinking about doing, which you'll say, Ernie, you're crazy. I'm thinking about going down to Arizona in October, late October, and volunteer for the Biden-Harris campaign, because that's one of the swing states we need to win. And right now, Biden is winning by about 3 percentage points. So I'm actually planning on going down and volunteering for about a week, doing whatever I can, canvassing, calling, or doing whatever I can, staying with a friend or two. I'm actually contemplating, have my messages out via Facebook messaging to friends in Arizona. I'm going to stay with them, couch surf, and do what I can. And I challenge all of you watching this broadcast, do everything what you can. Like Notorious RBG said, don't get angry because it just wastes energy. Take action. So I challenge you to take action. What are you doing to help Biden, Harris win and help terminate Trump? Ask yourself. If you want to do something, message me on Facebook. I can help you connect with the Biden Harris campaign. I've been texting every day, dealing with people in the swing states, and definitely I can help. I can get you connected, and you can do that. You can text from the comfort of your laptop or your computer. Okay, it's not using your own phone. So please do that. Please ask yourself, what are you doing? Don't just get mad. Take action. So hope you had a good time today. Have a good weekend. Take care. Bye-bye.